Many horror movies are infamous for their locations, whether it be Burketsville, Maryland in the Blair Witch Project, or the mall in Dawn of the Dead. These locations are absolutely terrifying in the world of the movie as well as in real life, with a lot of them being real places you can actually visit. So today on Top 5 Scary Videos, I'm going to be counting down our list of the top 5 scary horror movie locations. Before we begin though, be sure to stick around until the end of the video where I'll be responding to some of your comments. And with that, let's jump in. Coming in at number 5, The Devil's Rejects. Now, it is no surprise that this movie is on our list because the entire thing is uncomfortable and incredibly chilling. Released in 2005 and directed by Rob Zombie, The Devil's Rejects is the sequel to the hit 2003 movie House of a Thousand Corpses. The film centers on Sheriff Wydell and his men who attack and nab one of the Fireflies, a family of sadistic serial killers known as the Devil's Rejects. Those who escaped have now kidnapped a few more people at a motel. The movie is of course as insane as the first, with it being bloody and incredibly violent from start to finish. But like all Rob Zombie movies, it also has a sense of humor which makes it so damn great. Now, the motel in which they're hiding out in is incredibly run down and creepy to behold, for no reason other than the fact that it is isolated in the California desert and falling to pieces. Now, the set itself was originally built for the 1990 movie Eye of the Storm. However, the now dilapidated motel film set was also used as setting for The Devil's Rejects. Any horror movie lovers out there are able to go and visit this creepy set if they wish to drive through the desert to find the city of Lancaster. Good luck. In at number 4, The Witches. Yes, I am once again including this traumatizing movie on our list because despite it being a dark fantasy based on the book by Roald Dahl, making it a children's movie, it is a goddamn horror movie and you can't tell me otherwise. So don't come for me. I won't stand for it. Released in 1990 and directed by Nicholas Roeg, the movie follows Luke and his grandmother Helga, who move to England and spend their summer at a seaside hotel. However, during this time, a group of witches led by the Grand High Witch also arrives at the hotel for a convention, leading to some very unfortunate events for Luke. The witches are horrible and absolutely frightening to behold, but none more so than the Grand High Witch, who no longer resembles a person when she removes her wig and human skin, concealing her true nature. Now, the witches hate children, and when they discover Luke, they quickly turn him into a mouse, forcing him to team up with his friend Bruno and grandmother in order to form a plan to take down the witches. Now, the seaside hotel where this movie takes place is already very creepy to behold, with its gothic look and daunting appearance. The real hotel is called the Headland Hotel, and it's located in Cornwall, England. It's a 4-star luxury spa hotel right by the sea in Newquay, so if you want more fear in your life, go book a room. I wouldn't. This movie still haunts me and I'm not over it. Although, I've told many people, and it was in a previous video, that not too long ago I did have a sex dream about the Grand High Witch. Very strange. Very strange for me. In at 3, The Exorcist. Now, this movie experienced many unexplainable events during filming, some that have haunted the cast for years to come. Not only terrifying in the fictional universe, the set and surrounding filming locations have also become infamous over the years, attracting many tourists to the haunted spots. Released in 1973 and directed by William Friedkin, The Exorcist tells the story of Regan McNeil, a 12-year-old girl who becomes possessed by a demon after playing with a Ouija board. Rookie mistake. The mother is in turn forced to turn to 2 priests who arrive at the home to perform an exorcism on the young girl. Throughout the movie, the girl suffers through horrific events such as spinning her head 180 degrees, vomiting up pea soup, impaling herself with a crucifix, which is the nicest way I can put it, and levitating off of the bed. It's an intense thrill ride and remains to this day one of the scariest horror movies of all time. Now, many people out there truly believe this movie to be cursed, with some substantial evidence to back up the claims. Shooting of the film was delayed after the set caught fire, destroying the McNeil home. However, the only section not to be touched by the fire was Regan's room. Very creepy indeed. Many even believe that the actual film was cursed, and if you were to play it through a projector, you were inviting the demon into yourself. Now, one of the filming locations that attracts many fans of the movie are the stairs located in Georgetown, Washington, D.C. This is of course the location where Father Karras leaps to his death after inviting Regan's demon into himself. The stairs are now marked with a commemorative plaque honoring the movie, with a picture of its iconic iconic poster. In at number 2 we have The Shining. The Shining is a horror movie that has truly stood the test of time, and is as scary now as it was when it was first released back in 1980. Directed by Stanley Kubrick and based on the 1977 Stephen King novel of the same name, this movie follows the Torrance family, Jack, Wendy and their son Danny, who head to the isolated Overlook Hotel in the Colorado mountains, where Jack has accepted a job as the off-season caretaker. The Overlook, we learn, holds many dark secrets and is quickly luring in Jack, who becomes influenced by the supernatural forces, placing his family in danger. The hotel is incredibly haunting even in appearance, with its long hallways and grand foyers concealing a dark history filled with murder. In the movie, Jack deteriorates, grabbing an axe and attempting to take down his family, chasing his young son through a maze where Jack would ultimately die from cold exposure. Cold exposure? Does that make sense? Exposure? Sure. That makes sense. Joining the rest of the spirits at the Overlook Hotel for the rest of eternity. Now, the Overlook is actually inspired by the Stanley Hotel, following author Stephen King spending the night there with his wife back in the 70s. They were the only guests, with them eating alone in a large empty dining room and wandering through the long empty hallways. Now, the exterior shots of the Overlook Hotel were filmed at the Timberline Lodge in North Oregon, with room 217 being the most requested in the hotel. So if you want a few thrills, go book a room. I've already said that, but whatever. Go book a room. And finally, coming in at number 1, Amityville Horror. There is undoubtedly no other horror movie location that could claim our number 1 spot, and I'm sure many of you would opt for number 2, but this is my list and I'm sticking with Amityville. We're going to specifically talk about the 1979 movie, as well as the real life case involving everyone's favorites, Ed and Lorraine Warren. Phonies. Directed by Stuart Rosenberg and starring James Brolin and Margot Kidder, the Amityville Horror follows the Lutz family, a couple who purchased a home in Amityville, New York, where a mass murder took place just a year prior. The family, of course, begin to experience a series of strange and unexplainable events, resulting in the family fleeing the house. Now, what makes this movie and its movie location so damn terrifying is the simple fact that it is based on a true story that occurred in 1974. On November 13th, Ronald DeFeo Jr. murdered his entire family in their Amityville home at 112 Ocean Avenue, claiming that voices told him to do it. He was ultimately found guilty and sentenced to 25 years to life in prison, with him being 69 years old at the time of this recording. Like, in my mind, I thought he was dead, but he's alive, which makes it even scarier. Now, almost a year after the murders, George and Kathleen Lutz moved into the home. However, they suddenly left after only 1 month, with rumors abuzz that the home was haunted. Some of the things that the Lutz family experienced are as follows. George would wake at 3:15 a.m. every morning, which was said to be around the time that Ronald DeFeo Jr. carried out his series of murders. The family also claimed to smell strange odors, see green slime oozing, and experienced cold spots in certain areas. They went on to call in a priest to bless the home. However, according to the couple, when he arrived, voices cried out, "Get out!" Scary stuff. As you would expect, not many people want to purchase this property, with it remaining on the market since 2016 at a price of $850,000. Well, there we have it. Do you guys agree with that list? Were there any horror movie locations that we missed? Leave us all your thoughts and feelings in the comments down below, and perhaps we can do a part 2. Before I go though, I just want to respond to a few comments from one of our last videos, top 5 horror movies we love to hate. Edwin Mioto said, "You should watch the original House of Wax starring the legend of horror himself, Vincent Price." Yes, I should. I actually have never seen it, which is surprising. I've never thought to watch it. I'm not the biggest Vincent Price fan, which may be offensive to a lot of you. Maybe I just haven't watched enough of his movies. I personally love the Paris Hilton trash, House of Wax. Like I said in a previous video, which you guys enjoyed, I was obsessed with that movie to the point that I wrote the entire screenplay out in one of my books and then memorized it. I still know the beginning. Liv Francis Pape said, "Another reason to love this woman, casually wrote out the entire screenplay of House of Wax and learned all the dialogue. I have 100% done many a similar thing." I forgot this comment was coming next, but yes, like I just said, I did all of that and I have no regrets. I was really young as well. I think I was like 10 years old. Whenever that movie came out. When was it? Oh, it was 2005. How old was I then? Like 12, 11. I don't do math. I failed it twice. So I don't know. I was an age and I did it. Russ Lance said, "Speaking of Bloody Mary, I've never heard you mention American Mary, one of my favorites and one of the best revenge movies." I've never mentioned it because I've never seen it. Maybe I should see it so I can mention it. That's ultimately my point here. Little Lost today said, "The Witches remake does look awful. It really does. Don't know what they're doing with their lives, but why make something that was so terrifying and then remake it so it's not terrifying?" You know what I'm saying? It looks like a piece of Also, no one can play the Grand High Witch other than Angelica Houston. Anne Hathaway could never, and she will never. She looks awful. I'll bury me with that statement. I'll never watch it. I won't watch it. You guys can tell me how it is. I won't see it. Christopher Mendez said, digging the Halloween sweater, oh pale goddess. Thank you, it wasn't a Halloween sweater, it literally just is a sweater. It's my orange pumpkin colored sweater. And I know what the next comment is, and that's the comment I get all the time. Moonshine Sid said, hey Lucy, love the Velma costume. You can really pull that look off. If you had glasses on, I'd expect Scooby to be at your side. Literally why I never wear that sweater anymore, because you all say I look like Velma. At the end of the day, it really isn't a compliment. It's not. It's kind of a backhanded insult. It's just an insult. No, I do like Velma, but I'm just not wearing that sweater again, ultimately. Anyone want it? I'll send it to anyone who wants it. And on that note, if you haven't already, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another scary vid. And until next time, see you later. I'll say it both ways, editors, if you know the film or not, put the right one in. If we don't know together, then you'd pick whatever you think sounds right. Good luck. Directed by Nicholas Roeg. The movie follows Luke. The movie follows Luke. Hold on. Let's go back a little. I'm making myself laugh. You're silent. At least Chris laughs.
I'm laughing silently.
I'm laughing on the inside. Now this movie experienced many The stairs are now marked with a commemorative. Liv Francis Pape said, another reason to love this woman, casually wrote out the entire Didn't even know this was coming.